Hi there, Malcolm here with my 230th Booktube video, and I'm going to do a quick overview of the Alien Tie-In Trilogy that came out in 2014. Out of the Shadows by Tim Lebbon, Sea of Sorrows by James A. Moore, and I've just finished River of Pain by Christopher Golden. And these three stories basically take into account that the films Alien and Aliens exist and nothing else happened. There's no Alien 3, there's no other graphic novels, books, timeline, alterations. Prometheus definitely never happened. So basically, set in and around the first two films, these three books came into existence. Now I'll start off with the negative. There's a certain element of the justification of these books. Out of the Shadows takes place between Alien and Aliens, where Ripley's escape shuttle happens to cross a mining facility where they have literally just found some xenomorphs and got a bit of problem, and of course the one person that could possibly tell them what's going on happens to literally fall in their lap, and there's an adventure there, and then at the end of it she ends up back in the pod and going off on a merry way, getting her mind erased so that when she wakes up in the beginning of Aliens she has no memory of it. But she has a few more nightmares to have, which does kind of explain a little bit about the nightmares, but a little bit far-fetched. I would say I really enjoyed it though. This had a really sort of unique take on how the aliens spread and everything. You know, it wasn't the standard thing. Enough different happened in it to make this book stand out alone, but the shoehorning of Ripley into the story just felt a little bit unnecessary, and this could have been a standalone without it having to be related to the two films at all. It's quite cool that it does, but that is one sort of sticking point that some people have had with it. Whereas Sea of Sorrows takes place a long time after Aliens, and I think it's one of Ripley's descendants who has some sort of telepathic linkage to the xenomorphs due to his ancestors' previous encounters, and of course the planet he happens to be working on happens to have hidden underground caverns where there's another alien spaceship that's been crashed for millennia, different species to the one in Alien, and yeah, there's xenomorphs on that. And again, we have another xenomorph encroaching adventure. And I think this book had the closest thing I've ever had to a jump scare on the written word. So there's that going for it. And it was really exciting, really good. And again, different enough to stand out. It didn't feel like it was just retreading the same things over and over again. It felt new, it felt fresh. Yeah, I was really impressed with it. But because it was so remote from the two films, the fact that he happened to be a distant descendant of Ripley was kind of a very loose link, really. And finally, River of Pain, and this basically tells the story of the colony on LV-426 on the planet or moon of Acheron, where the film Aliens takes place. Ripley's picked up. She tells company man Burke, "Oh, we found these horrible things." "Well, did you? Or I've got people living there, they didn't find it." "Well, they were right there." He then sends a message going, "Well, apparently there's a thing, go and find it." They find it and of course lose contact, and so Ripley and a squad of Marines go to find everyone's dead, Dave, apart from little Newt. And this is kind of Newt's story. It's not just Newt's story, it's Newt, her mum, her dad, as well as other members of the colony. There's a new colonial Marine officer that arrives who's an old flame of Newt's mum. So there's a little bit of drama there because of that. There's also a few factions in the Marines that this new commander has to deal with. But again, I wasn't entirely sure about the justification for this book. It's like the film Titanic. What's the point of watching it? You know it sinks. It's a given that when they turn up, everybody's dead. And basically the book just chronicles the events that lead up to it and why they went and found it. And I like the fact that they did use the deleted scene from Aliens where I think we see Newt and her brother in the transport, and Mum turns up having gone into the ship with Dad with a facehugger on it, and she starts screaming. Yeah, that's included in here. Just under 300 pages. Our colonists don't even set foot on the crashed alien spaceship until page 134. That's not to say the first half of the book was boring. It was really nice meeting these characters, getting to know the dynamics of the colony, the way things are going well, the way things are not going well, and the fact that there's no real logical justification for building a colony on such an inhospitable planet, beyond the fact that Weyland-Yutani sent a message to the Nostromo to go and check out this mysterious signal, and then, as far as they were concerned, the Nostromo vanishes. It's not until much later that Ripley's discovered, but in the meantime, they send a colony out there to go and colonise roughly where they think the Nostromo vanished, in the hopes that they stumble across whatever did it. That's the only reason the colony's there. And of course, when Burke finds out exactly where the ship was, things start going wrong. Really enjoyed it, even though there was a certain level of inevitability about it. But having said that, there was always a chance that some might get out. There was mentions of a escape craft. Will they get there? Right, spoilers. Now, the first half was all nice build-up, and the second half, bloodbath. So all in all 3 books I would definitely say are worth buying. Certainly if you are a fan of Alien or Aliens. River Pain is certainly a nice novelisation of the prequel to Aliens. Out of the Shadows, I'd say, slots in between the 2 films, but somewhat unnecessarily, really. And Sea of Sorrows, it could have been its own thing, really. The vague link to Ripley was perhaps too vague. And the fact that we have another alien crashed ship with xenomorphs on it, but it's a different species of alien, which means that the xenomorphs are also slightly different as well, which does keep things a bit interesting. So, have you read any of these? Did you have a favourite, a least favourite? You're allowed to not like them. You're also allowed to like them. But as usual, if you have nothing nice to say, please keep it to yourself. Thank you. And until next time, see you later.